ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track, and ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
In 2005, two brothers hit the road to fight monsters. That road has led them to fighting demons, angels, and saving the world.
It's a journey that is taking them to heaven, hell, and back. But they aren't done.
Join our journey as we go episode by episode, following the adventures of Sam and Dean Winchester. We break each episode down with the writers, producers, directors, crew, and actors to bring you the behind-the-scenes stories of how this legendary TV series was made. That guy right there, that's Rob Benedict. He played God and Chuck Shirley.
Hey, and that guy there, that's Richard Spade Jr. He played Gabriel, Loki, and the Trickster. And P.S., he directed a bunch of episodes too.
Now, while we are insiders, we're also outsiders because we're not experts. This is our first time watching the entire series, all 327 episodes.
Rich and I have met many of the fans at conventions around the world, and we are deepening our understanding of why you all love this series so much. Because it's really good.
Yeah, it is. Now listen, there will be spoilers, so consider yourself warned.
And thank you for joining us on this trip we call Supernatural Then and Now. Hi, everybody. I'm Rob Benedict.
And I'm Richard Spate.
And we are talking about Season 7, Episode 10, Death's Door.
Which is way classier than us talking about Death's back door, if you know what I'm saying.
Man, that is right away. We're just right in it.
Well, why wait, Rob? You want to
That's
wait
true.
till we're halfway through the episode before we start talking about, Death's caboose?
It's Death's Caboose was the alternate title. Okay, hey, we're back in convention season, everybody. So post your favorite picture of you at a Supernatural convention on Instagram, tag the podcast, and we'll share our favorites.
Yeah, we will. And if you have anything with Rob doing a crazy pose with you at a photo op, or maybe something scandalous with Rob, or I don't know, any of those kind of photos, they'll get extra special likes from us.
Or if it's a picture with Rich, because Lord knows, he works every second of these conventions. He is doing something.
Dude, I'm either selling candles in the Saturday market.
Exactly.
Or on tie-dyeing shirts with the kids.
Yep. He's doing something.
Hey, listen, I don't like it's convention season. People better get ready because there's some stuff to be seen going out there. So lots of fun guests and fun stuff and Loudon Swain concerts. So
we're in the middle of it.
Check your local listings. Check the Creation Entertainment is the company that hosts the American conventions. Check their website. Find out where we are in the U.S. Come see us. Or abroad, just follow Rob on Instagram and Twitter, or follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and you will find out where we are overseas. Come see us there.
Or don't choose. Just follow both of us.
That's what I would do.
And the podcast. And then you're set. You're covered. Okay. Let's get into this, eh? Sam and Dean, no longer distracted by the death of Amy, they rush Bobby, who's been shot in the head, to the Hamilton Regional Hospital. In the real world, Bobby's unconscious. Well, in the real fictional world,
right.
Jim Beaver's alive and well. In the real world, Bobby's unconscious. However, in his mind, he's reliving the scene in the forest where he and the boys killed the rabid turducken eater. He feels blood on his forehead and knows that something isn't right.
Now I'm going to pause you right here. This episode starts so incredibly strong.
Yeah.
The effect of coming out of Bobby's head.
Yeah.
Very CSI. It starts
with the bullet
inside the bullet hole.
Yeah. We go
and
into the bullet hole.
Pulls out this tunnel to reveal Bobby. It's a unbelievable shot.
And, and then I realized what they were going to be doing for the episode. I was like, ooh, this is going to be fun. I kind of like this kind of
Dude, it was
episode.
so good. And so they go out that way, they go back in.
Yeah.
To be honest, to be perfectly blunt here, I had low expectations because it was an actual to be continued. The show is always to be continued. But this was an actual to be continued, like a second parter. And I thought, oh man, I don't know how this will go.
I also, spoiler alert to like 10 minutes from now, but I didn't know. I never thought there'd be any world where he doesn't wake up at the end of this episode.
Bingo. Same.
So,
100% same.
Once again, we started this series. I was like, well, one thing I do know is that Sam and Dean live for 15 seasons. I know they're not going to die. Well, they've already died multiple times.
Yeah.
And Jim Beaver nearly has died a couple times, and he lost the ability to walk for a little bit. But at the end of this episode, he dies. So I was really blown away. But
yeah, and then also watching the credits, I saw Stephen Williams' name come up, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
So
whose character was dead, and we love him.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here that was confusing, but I thought this episode started like a rocket firing into the sky. It was just so powerful. So
well, he feels blood on his forehead and knows something isn't right. He tries to wake himself up, but wakes up in a memory of his wife.
And by the way, again, this is so great. The way the way they shot the reenactment of that episode was beautiful and exactly like it was shot.
Yeah.
But the way Jim kind of realized something was amiss was fantastic. It was great.
Yeah, and you get the feeling he's seeing these memories, he's reliving them, but it's not like he's gone back in time. You know what I mean?
No, he was in current time, embodying the memory.
Right, like even if it ends different or what, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna, if he borrows Stephen Williams' character to help solve it.
It doesn't affect, no, it's all dream world still.
It's all dream world, yeah. So he's in a memory with his wife. She's trying to tell him something, but he realizes what night this is. He looks out the window, the moon fades away, and a boy is running towards the house. He tells Karen he has to go. He steps outside, but is now in a different memory. He and Rufus are dressed as exterminators and are on a hunt. They enter a church. Bobby tries to explain to Rufus that he's going to die. The boy runs past Bobby. The church starts to shake, and a man in black approaches Bobby and tells him it's time to go. Now, I have a quick side note with you, just a real quick step out of the episode.
Okay.
I used to be told all the time by, fans of this show and friends or people on the street that I looked exactly like Henry Lubati, who's the actor who plays the Reaper in this episode.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
So you can kind of, now, I don't know, where he is right now. Now I'm like, well, not as much. But when we were both younger, I think we looked a lot alike. Henry Lubati is.
I was not familiar with his name. I think he does a really nice job in this episode. I can see where there'd be a physical correlation there.
I used to go into casting offices and the cast director would be like, God, you look exactly like Henry Lubati. I never met Henry.
Well,
okay, so a man in black approaches Bobby and tells him it's time to go. Bobby realizes it's a Reaper. The Reaper explains to Bobby that he had to enter the hunter's dream because he is in a coma. Bobby runs off, trying to delay the inevitable. He needs to find a way to the Winchesters to relay what he saw on Dick Roman's desk. That's where those numbers come from. So he saw those numbers when he looked at Dick Roman's desk when they were holding him captive in the last episode.
Right.
Remember? Okay. In the real world, Bobby's body has stabilized. However, in his mind, he's rapidly moving through memories of the boys, his wife, and early childhood.
It's all amazing. The kid running around is great. The wife flashbacks are so sweet and endearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, he finds himself on a hunt with Rufus and tries to explain what's going on, but Rufus ignores him and continues trying to burn some remains.
Dude, I could watch Stephen Williams read from the phone book.
Yeah.
He is so good.
Yeah.
And they are so good together.
And what was great about it, too, is I remember when Rufus died going wow, this could have been a spinoff.
It could have been a spinoff on CBS.
Right. Totally. And
10 years ago.
Actually,
it's so good.
Would have been super successful. I'd forgotten, if someone told me, I'd forgotten that they were going to be back together again. So, as a fan, this was really cool to relive the two of them together, right?
Right. It was so great.
So they're on this hunt that happened in the past at some point. So in a tussle with the ghost, Rufus gets knocked unconscious. Bobby disposes of the ghost and gets Rufus to the hospital.
And by the way, all of their dialogue is so great. And it's all It's like you and me.
Yeah.
It's like, I need help. You're damn right you need help.
Yeah.
You got to get your act together. No, I'm going to pickle. Yeah, man, you hate pickles. We go to the deli. You always say, hold the pickle. Like, they're back and forth. This is so funny.
No, totally. And again, because it's not, he hasn't gone back and past, but he's in the memory. Even he was like, oh, I forgot. This is the memory where Rufus almost dies.
Right.
Because Rufus has to go to the hospital. And then we cut through all that because that doesn't matter for this, you know what I mean? And then he's at the part where Rufus exits the hospital. And so when Rufus eventually exits, he explains his near-death experience to Bobby. Rufus was in his childhood apartment. While trying to escape, every door led to a different memory. He had to go deep and face the things he didn't want to remember in order to escape. Bobby convinces Rufus of what he's experiencing and that he needs his partner. So Bobby revisits the memory of when he told his wife, Karen, he didn't want to have children. He's broken her heart, and she gets possessed 3 days later, and he has to kill her. He has to stab her.
Yeah, that whole story. I mean, we know it, but then hearing Stephen Williams ask those questions and prodding Bobby to tell him what happened after the fact and why he didn't say A, B, or C.
Right.
So well done.
Yeah.
This is such a great episode obviously for Jim Beaver, but for Bobby's character.
Yeah. Amazing.
No.
We haven't gotten something this in depth with Sam and Dean, I don't feel like. You know what I mean? I mean, a little bit when we've got them and their children, but these are really personal memories.
Yeah.
Bobby regrets never getting a chance to make it up to Karen after he told her he didn't want to have kids. So Bobby opens the next door. It's a memory of playing catch with boyhood Dean. Rufus shares that Bobby would have made a good father. It's always funny to me, too, when they do it's just Jim, but his beard has dyed or he's got maybe a different beard on.
But I'm glad they never go with like a different actor. It wouldn't make sense.
Oh, totally. I also like that at this point, I felt like it was A Christmas Carol, and Rufus is the ghost of Christmas past. Anyway, so Rufus shares that Bobby would have made a good father. However, Bobby hated his mean, drunk dad and didn't want to mess up any children of his own. Rufus tells Bobby to go deeper. They go through the next door, and they end up in Bobby's childhood, a memory of his father shouting at him and his mother. Bobby believes he's in the wrong place and might be able to stop the impending Reaper. Meanwhile, in the real world, Dean isn't taking the possible death of Bobby very well. You can say that again.
Yeah.
And that guy asked him about what to do with his organs. Dean punches the wall and gets a bloody hand.
Yeah.
It reminded me of you a little bit in that moment.
Well, I know how you react when people start talking about organs.
Meanwhile, in the real world, Dean isn't taking the possible death of Bobby very well.
No, he's not. And we already mentioned how much you love organs.
Right. And he punches a wall and didn't say anything about organs. But Dick Roman shows up. James Patrick Stewart, who we love and who's doing such a great job of an evil.
Oh, he's so good. He's so creepy and jerky.
Yeah. Well, he taunts Dean.
Two of my least favorite dwarfs. Creepy and jerky.
Back in Bobby's head, Rufus and Bobby prepare a ritual to capture the Reaper. The Reaper appears and tells Bobby the end is inevitable. He's going to die.
You know what's weird?
Mm-hmm.
We just now figured this out. Jim has not taken the advice that he's probably gotten from, I mean, I know that he's gotten it from music at least. He's making the dumbest mistake of all time. He'd been instructed since the mid-'70s, don't fear the Reaper.
Don't fear the Reaper.
And yet, there he is, just fearing the Reaper. It's like Blue Oyster Cult meant nothing to him.
I know. It's like he's just going through life, no cowbell.
Yeah.
Does he want to remain a ghost or come with him to the other side? Now, resolved more than ever, Bobby thinks...
No, can I ask you a question for real?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand that was a choice Bobby had until later in the episode. I thought the Reaper was coming to get him, and as soon as he got his mitt on him, they're gone.
No,
But Bobby kept running around.
I got that he was that he at this point I got it that he had the choice to remain a ghost.
I got it at this point, but did you get it when the Reaper first showed up?
No.
Did you think this was an option for Bobby?
No.
Because the Reaper made it out like, hey, I'm going to find you wherever you are, man.
No.
You're just prolonging this.
Yes, I did
I
not.
thought, well, this is inevitable then.
I did not. Yeah, I same. I did not until this moment did I realize that. But here's another Reaper question. Julian Richings' death.
Death.
And Lisa Barry's death.
After Julian Richings goes away, yeah.
Correct.
There's only one death at a time, is my point.
Have we met several Reapers?
Yes.
Reapers are not death.
They work for death. They are the minions of death.
Right.
Death sends out the Reapers to do his bidding. Like, hey, go reap these souls. Here's 100,000 Reapers.
The band plays Fear the Reaper for Julian Richings, which isn't necessarily accurate, is it?
The band, but we also sing Oh Death.
We sing "Oh Death," and then we play "Fear the Reaper."
True, but you don't sing the words. And if you sing the words, you could say, "Don't pay the Reaper," since he's the boss of the Reapers.
Right. Okay. Does he want to remain a ghost or come with him to the other side? Now resolved more than ever, Bobby thanks Rufus and follows the boy into the deepest, darkest memory. A young Bobby faces his abusive father. His father hits his mother and berates Bobby, telling him he breaks everything he touches. Bobby refutes this.
Which, by the way, we've heard his wife,
Yeah.
so it would have been flash forwarded in his life decades later,
Right.
say, Bobby, you always say you break everything you touch.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
well, now you've broken my heart, you know.
And that's what he also says to her when he says he doesn't want to have kids because he
Right.
breaks everything he touches. Bobby refutes this. He adopted 2 boys and raised them as heroes who saved the world.
Goddamn good scene, man. I mean, a really moving, touching scene to watch.
Jim just nails it.
Jim nails it, but also it's directed perfectly. The woman playing his mother is perfect.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah.
And the way, I think it's a Robert Singer directed episode,
It
and
is.
it's just expertly directed.
Yeah.
And how it's crafted, the
And-
comedy and the drama.
and well-
here this moment comes, almost like a play. Dude, the use of the double sliding doors is masterful.
Yep.
From how he sees the scene, how he'll close the scene off.
Mm-hmm.
The editing in this episode is masterful. Bob Singer shot every scene with a specific purpose on how to get in it and how to get out. It's a clinic on how to direct a television episode because everything is done specifically on purpose so that you are in and out on very specific beats that carry you from one story to the next. It's so well done. And if we ever down the road when we have Bob on again, I want to come back and talk to him about this. Just a couple of questions about it.
Yeah.
Because he just does a great job. And to that point, when he finally opens the door here, and he's going to step in the theater because it feels very much like a theater, right? So Jim's an audience watching his own life play out. And then Jim stays on this side, the other side of the sliding doors. He opens them up. The little kid runs off. Then Jim steps forward, and now the dad turns to adult Jim and addresses Jim like the child. It's great. I mean, I got chills watching it. It was so well done, so seamless. And the writing it's Sarah Gamble just knocking the leather off the ball in this episode. Sarah Gamble, let's take a moment to just tip our hat to her writing of this episode. It is everything that works in this episode is because of her craftsmanship behind the keyboard. It is so well done, from humor to drama to the slow delivering of the tidbits that stitch the story together, expertly crafted. Like, now you go, oh yeah, of course Sarah Gamble took over the show as showrunner. This is her skill set. This is gorgeous.
Yeah. No, it really, truly is. And it got me, it got me. I mean, I as someone who was...
It got me, and I'm not very gettable.
Yeah, no, you're
Especially
not.
when we were watching the show, knowing we were doing podcasts. So it's not like we sat down with popcorn. You know, I kind of just carved out time like a business date, or watch the episode and move on. And this one stopped me in my tracks. I thought it was...
Yeah, it did. And this scene in particular, and...
this got me.
You know, got me in my own personal
Little
stuff.
boys
and,
getting ripped at by their dad, and they're, and being ignored. I mean, as a human, as a father, as a boy, it just hit me in the feels in a big way.
Yeah.
And then Jim steps up and represents himself. God, he's so... They always talk about Bobby being a drunk, and I still wrestle with that.
I know, even in this, he's like, it's your gin soaked.
Yeah, your gin soaked brain,
life
and
or
then they
something.
made some other, like, I think Stephen Williams says, like, for a drunk, you're not, blah, 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 something like that.
Yeah, I know,
And
I know.
Dean looks at the flask in his pocket. And I guess you can tip your hat again to Jim Beaver for never playing Bobby like a drunk for 15 years.
No. Yeah. Right.
He might have used alcohol to maintain, but he never was a quote unquote drunk. You never felt like alcohol was impeding Bobby's ability to be a good person or a good hunter or a good friend or whatever.
So really, it's kind of an ad for alcohol. That like, it's okay.
Well, that's a very
can still
Benedict
be
way of looking at it, but yeah.
Very productive person. So yeah, so he's in his monologue, which again, what I love they stuck with Jim, the take of Jim's close in on his face. He says he adopted 2 boys, raised them as heroes who saved the world.
I like him copying that he adopted the 2 boys.
It's amazing.
Like, let's not skip past that. He's never said, it's never stated in the show,
Right.
well, you're mine now, or you're under my wing.
Right.
He just becomes a de facto father figure, right? And it's just kind of seamlessly happens in the show.
Really?
Well, this is the first time you see that. Obviously, we've seen him take ownership of the boys, but we've never heard him say he takes some responsibility for their health and welfare. And him saying that out loud is very powerful, and probably powerful for him.
Well,
probably not the thing. He'd be like, I just watched those goons bump their head into the door.
No.
But he really is there emotionally for them.
And that's when you'd say it. That's when you would say it when you're confronting your father. You'd say something like that, and you'd say it for the first time in your life. You know what I mean? That's why it felt so...
It's very powerful, man. It's very, very powerful.
So back in the real world, Bobby's body's starting to respond. A nurse summons the Winchesters to be by Bobby's side. Bobby's father continues to abuse his mother. Young Bobby grabs a rifle and is forced to shoot his father in the head. Older Bobby tells the boy he did what he had to do and to bury the body behind the shed.
It rips your heart out, but I'm so glad that's where the story went. I'm so glad they let the little boy pull the trigger. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's Bobby's real story or if this is the utopian version that Bobby cooked up in his dreams to help.
I'd like to think he did.
What do you call it? Not rectify, but to vindicate his role as a boy. Because I feel like Bobby carries the weight of watching his mom get abused.
Yeah.
And feeling like he did nothing to stop it.
Yeah.
And so if Bobby may have grown up with that over his head, or Bobby may have shot his father.
Yeah.
Whatever it is in this story, I'm glad the young Bobby shot his father, because I feel like that's what old Bobby needed young Bobby to do in that moment. Versus old Bobby having to take the gun and do it himself.
Yeah, yeah.
And then old Bobby going to young Bobby and saying, you did what you had to do.
Yes. Yes.
But did you know it was interesting? And again, Bob Singer, just so well directed. He didn't have Big Bobby squat down to little Bobby's level. He didn't talk to young Bobby as a boy. He talked to young Bobby as a man, because that's the only way Jim Beaver knows how to communicate with people. Jim Beaver is not a little boy's father.
Right. You mean Bobby?
Yeah, but sorry, Bobby is not a little boy's father, because Bobby, when he deals with Sam and Dean, it's very much like it. Yeah, he's very much like Idjit this, and he didn't. He doesn't come from a tender place, even though his heart may be tender, because he doesn't have that. And I thought the blocking of that.
And the boy doesn't talk back. Like the memory doesn't talk back. You know what I mean? That's why it's really great. Like he's interacting more than the memories are interacting back.
Right. And then how about dude, he says that to the little boy. He's looking down at the little boy because he doesn't take a knee to connect with him. And I thought I'd really analyze that. I'm like, that's a cool choice. I wonder if I would have made the same choice, and not because my choice had been right, but I'm like, well, I wonder if I would have screwed it up. I think it's better the way Bob Singer, director Robert Singer did it.
No, I had that same thought. And this part, I was like, man, I'm so glad that this wasn't in Richard Spade's hands.
Right? Ditto for the complexity of it. I was like, this is no easy episode. But he didn't take a knee. Like he didn't go, a lot of times you go face to face. He didn't do that.
Yeah.
And then how about the great line of like, the mom is still kind of pissed off. And he's like, man, they never say thank you.
I know.
Bobby spent the rest of his life. That's the first time. Think about this. That's the first monster Bobby ever killed.
Mm-hmm.
And it sends him down the road. And he always expects exactly what happens. I'm going to kill the monster, and you're going to tell me to f off. But that's okay, because I know I did the right thing. And they didn't develop the character of Bobby Singer knowing that in season 7 they would have this episode.
No.
No,
and that's why I think it's such a good episode, and it's really hitting the show itself is just season 7. We're talking about an episode in season 7.
Season 7, and Sarah Gamble just literally taking the gloves off.
Yeah.
It's such a good episode. So ballsy, so not a Jared and Jensen episode, such a Jim Beaver episode, tells such a dramatic story in such a cinematic, theatrical way with so many moving parts. I just loved it. I just thought it was expertly done by everybody involved.
Back in the real world, Bobby starts to come to. The boys are initially relieved. Bobby writes some numbers on Sam's hand and with a smirk and a final breath says the word Idjits, and then he flatlines.
Dude, I was so shocked when he flatlines. I thought he was coming back.
We all did.
So he came back, like, Idjits. I'm like, Bobby's back. And then he goes, beep. And I'm like, wait, what?
That's what I'm saying. Back in his mind, Bobby's watching a happy memory with Sam and Dean, a movie night over beers. The Reaper arrives and asks Bobby again if he's going to cross over or remain here as a ghost. We don't know his decision, Richard. We don't know.
No, I don't. And that's actually a cliffhanger. It's not even like, oh, Jared's dead. Gee, I wonder if he comes back. I was like, oh, wow, Bobby Singer's dead.
Jeez, man. I just didn't expect that. I didn't expect it to come to that. I think you had the same reaction I had, which is that we were really taken with this episode. It really drew us in.
It did. It hit levels that the show has hit before in various episodes with Jared and Jensen. It hasn't done this with an auxiliary character like Jim Beaver.
Yeah.
It hasn't done it in this way. I just
That's what it is. It's done it with Sam and Dean, of course. But,
very, very high regard for this episode.
yeah, but I mean, even the darkest memories of Sam and Dean, we haven't really seen. We haven't, because they have dark memories, I think, with their own father. I guess the closest we did see him like leave the hotel and they're there alone, but you don't see Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I guess you see Matt Cohen. Anyway, my point is these memories were specifically dark and got me in a different way,
Yeah. Well, the way they did it with adult Jim Beaver living them while analyzing them. Like he's in them while analyzing them. And that was a really unique way of doing it. He's not an observer to his own life. He's participating in his own dreams of life, but also analyzing them at the same time.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And Jim does a great job acting the whole episode.
100%.
But balancing being in it and watching it is incredibly complex, and he does a great job.
Hey there, this is Jared Padalecki, and I hope you're enjoying the episode. But we got to pull over for a second for some messages.
Hey everybody, it's Rob. You know when a new piece of clothing just becomes your go-to? Like maybe a new shirt? That's what happened for me when I picked up a few items from Quince. It's the first thing I reach for in my closet because they're lightweight, they're comfortable, and they're always on point. And I like to be on point. I don't like to be off the point. Quince has all the things you actually want to wear, like organic cotton silk polos or European linen beach shorts or comfortable pants that work with everything from backyard hangs to nice dinners. Oh, I loves me a good backyard hang. The best part? Everything with Quince is priced like 50 to 80% of what it normally would be with similar brands. The price is ridiculous. And it's really well made. They work directly with top artisans and they cut out the middleman. So it gives you like luxury pieces without the crazy markups. And Quince only works with factories that are safe, ethical, and responsible. And they use premium fabrics and finishes. I'm telling you, it's a great product and it's a great price. And I just got myself a nice short sleeve white linen shirt from Quince that I wore last week at the convention in Minneapolis. For anyone playing along at home, if you saw me, then you know that I looked stylish without trying too hard. There was something just cool about it. I felt cool wearing it. So elevate your closet with Quince. Go to quince.com/STN for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/STN to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/STN.
Hey, yo, Rich Spade here. Summer is just around the corner, and the fine folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting a summer bod is out, and getting your savings bod is in. This spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank. Let me tell you something. Mint Mobile Wireless is top shelf. Connections are great. Calls are clear. Internet connections are zippy as heck. The whole family loves it. And man, are you saving some serious money because you're not handing over heaps of cash every month. Only pay for what you need. Only pay for what you use. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, or high-speed data if you're one of those people, and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your own phone number along with all your existing contacts. How easy is that? Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. You heard that right. It's $15 a month for the first 3 months. Good grief, that's low. So I'm telling you, this is the year. You skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/supernatural. That's mintmobile.com/supernatural. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, 5 gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hey there, thanks for listening. Now, back to the episode.
Let me get this out of the way so we can do it. You ready?
Yeah.
R, Rob and Rich. Ratings. This is a no-brainer for me. It was a no-brainer. I'll tell you this. I don't know last time I had an episode that was like this, but after the opening 5 minutes, I was like, well, this is a Stapleton.
Yeah.
It started so strong, and the concept was so clever and so meaningful and so well executed that 5-10 minutes in, I'm like, this is a humdinger of an episode, and it just kept getting better.
Yeah.
I could staple a Stapleton to a Stapleton and give it a Stapleton on a Stapleton. It's a Stapleton on a Stapleton. A Stapleton stapled to a Stapleton.
Well, I too am going to give it my best. I'm going to give it the Top Gun era, Kenny Loggins, the Danger Zone era, Kenny Loggins, beard, and maybe a pair of sunglasses.
I feel like it should be Loggins with the beard, in the sunglasses, in the Top Gun jumpsuit,
in the jumpsuit,
in the cockpit of the airplane.
Flying the plane. That's right. That's it.
That's your Stapleton on a Stapleton. Like, now Kenny Loggins is Maverick.
Exactly. It's just so well done. And Jensen and Jared still brought it, although they didn't have as much to do, but they nailed all their scenes.
Yes, they did.
All
their emotional content was heavy and well done.
I don't know what happens now. I don't know how long it's going to be till we see that character again. I know he does come back, but there is an emotional thing that happens when a beloved character dies in a show. You feel it as an actor and a friend of that actor. There's a certain, what I mean? Anyway, I've seen it happen before, and I felt like that was in the acting because they care about Jim. They were feeling it. Okay, well, now we're going to go into the next bit, which is our interview with Jim Beaver. He's unavailable to be interviewed in time for the release of this episode.
He gave us the best excuse ever. He could have said, I don't want to do the podcast again. I'm not a fan of you boys, which he said before. But this time, instead of I'm washing my socks, he went above and beyond to create the weirdest of excuses, clearly made up. He said, and I quote, I'm on safari.
Yeah, he's on safari.
And I said, well, that's a search engine, Jim. You can just use that to Google the...
I said, hop over to Firefox
try
or
Chrome.
Google Chrome. But no, he's in Africa on a safari. But
I'm saying that in air quotes.
But he specifically wanted to talk about this episode. Obviously, it means a lot to him, too. So this episode this week will be released in 2 parts. The interview with Jim Beaver will come out on Thursday and will be later combined into 1 episode for future viewers.
So, with that in mind, let's move into the segment that I consistently, week after week, call Mythology!
Okay, well, let's talk about the moment before death.
There are people who have reported, after they have come back from the brink of death, about what happened to them. These are commonly referred to as near-death experiences, or if you don't have time to say that, just say NDE.
Or NZ.
NZ. So number 1, here we go. Here's one of them. Rob and I will just rotate here. The out-of-body experience, again, if you're in a rush, OBE. The acronym creation team really went goo-goo gaga over these phrases.
I know.
Many people feel as if they have left their physical body and then can observe themselves and the environment from an external vantage point. They often describe hovering above hospital beds or accident scenes and describe being able to view them with surprising clarity.
Another end-of-life experience is the life review.
Why is that not called LR?
LR.
LR.
I think we should do it with all of them. A rapid and vivid replay of major life events, often accompanied by a deep emotional understanding or judgment. People often report feeling the emotional impact of their actions on others, as if reliving events from multiple perspectives. That's kind of what happened with Jim and this Bobby in this episode.
Yeah, for sure. Then there's this sense of peace or euphoria, which would be sapoi.
Sapoi.
Despite the trauma or illness, individuals often describe an overwhelming sense of calm, love, or bliss. This can contrast starkly with the physical pain they were experiencing moments before.
And of course, the old tunnel and light, TAL. A frequently cited vision is moving through a tunnel toward a bright, welcoming light. The light is often described as radiating unconditional love and peace.
Encountering beings or deceased loved ones. Ebo Delo, we call that one. Some report meeting spiritual figures like angels or religious icons or deceased friends and family. These beings often communicate telepathically and reassure or guide the person.
Feeling of a choice or border. Fuakab. Fuakab.
Fuakab.
Of course, it's Fuakab. People sometimes feel they are offered a choice to return to life or cross a point of no return. Often describe a border, threshold, or barrier that separates life from death.
That's also very much what happened to Jim, you know?
Yeah. And Supernatural seem to have combined a few of these choices.
Yes, Sarah really plucked from this list to build this story beautifully.
What about you, Rich? Ever have a end of life moment?
No, I haven't yet, thankfully. I know that these are stories about people coming back from that, but I'm happy to not have had one yet. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. I believe in them, though. At no point do I think these are nonsense or bunk. I kind of have to, if people come back and say they had the experience, I kind of have to believe the people who did.
Absolutely.
What about you? What about you, Robert?
No, I can't say that I did. The closest I've come to that neighborhood would have been when I had my stroke, but I just fell asleep. Hey, that as fun as that was.
That is fun, boy. Ooh, really fun. But maybe these are slightly more fun, like talking about other near-death experiences. Let's see. Don't turn the page yet, Rob. Let me do this. Fun facts! Fun facts! Fun facts! Fun facts.
Death's Door. The title of this episode is a saying that pertains to almost dying.
Yeah, the episode was originally titled Not Fade Away, the same title as the series finale of the TV show Angel. But that's that. No, I'm glad they didn't do that. We don't need to copy Angel. Come on now.
No, you can do it. No. The German title, or as they say in Germany, the German title is An der Schwelle.
An der Schwelle! Which loosely translated means at the threshold. Robert, are there any other languages that have done?
I see here none. There is one from Japan. But I can't pronounce. Do you know your Japanese?
I can't begin to say that, to vocalize that. But what's the loose translation?
The loose translation is the happy fun boat that kills you.
Well, that actually makes sense. If you think about the episode, that makes sense.
That totally.
You know, young Bobby shoots his father above his right eye in almost the same location that Bobby was shot. I don't think that's a fun fact. That's just that's part of the show. That's like saying, fun fact. The character Bobby has a beard.
Fun fact, Bobby's father beat his mother. The newspaper Ed Singer is reading.
I didn't know that we knew the dad's name. Yeah. So the Ed Singer is the father. Okay.
Yes. The newspaper Ed Singer is reading references the launch of Sputnik 1. So the shooting incident took place in 1957. The newspaper also contains the headline, "The past is best left in the past."
Well, that's not true. Bobby's doing a great job proving that wrong.
Wow. Interesting.
During the broadcast of the episode on December 2nd, 2011, producer Jim Michaels tweeted, "I hope someday some Emmy love is spread all over this show." He's not wrong. If the world was a fair place, this would have been nominated for Best Direction, Best Writing, and I mean, you would give Jim Best Supporting Actor because he's a supporting actor on the show, but he should have been nominated. I mean, he's a lead of this episode, but he should have been nominated.
During the hospital scene, Jensen was twisting Jim Beaver's toe off camera. That tracks.
I got news for you. Here's a fun fact. That wasn't his toe.
Wasn't Jim's toe.
At the time of the episode's release, Jared said that it was one of his top 5 episodes. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's just masterfully done. Oh, my God, it's so
Jared
good.
Gets it.
Hey, this is Mark Shepard. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. If you've ever shopped online, and let's face it, who hasn't? Chances are you've bought something from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? The one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes things easier, and not just for shoppers. They make it easy to start and run your business. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. It gives you a leg up from day dot, with hundreds of beautiful ready-to-go templates to express your brand style so you can get up and running fast. You can tackle your important tasks, from inventory to payments to analytics and more, all in one place. You can also spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools built for you to find and keep new customers. And remember that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already know and love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm.
We're back. Thanks.
Well, fantastic episode.
And, you know, I want to reiterate something Rob said earlier. We have gone on and on about Stephen Williams, Jim Beaver, the actor who played the Reaper, everybody who just showed up in a huge way. The actress who played Jim's wife, just phenomenal acting. Rob said it. I want to reiterate. Jared and Jensen also delivering at a high level on the other story. Because when your job is to stand there and be worried,
yeah,
that's a tall order. And just watch as something happens around you and be reactive and alive in a scene without dialogue. Those guys crush it.
Thanks everyone for listening, and thank you, Supernatural, for the great episode.
I tell you what, they're gonna good luck season 7 coming up with one better than this. I mean, this is a high watermark.
That's right. There you go. Challenge.
I slapped the rest of the season with my glove.
This episode of Supernatural features Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester, Jensen Ackles as Dean Winchester.
Guest stars include Jim Beaver. Jim Beaver was in this?
Huh.
James Patrick Stewart, Stephen Williams, Henry Lubati, Carrie Ann Fleming, Edward Foy, and Chayla Horsdal.
Death's Door was written by Sarah Gamble, directed by Robert Singer.
Editing by Nicole Baer. Fantastic editing by Nicole Baer, by the way.
Yeah.
Music by Christopher Leonards.
Transportation coordinator, Mark Gold.
Executive produced by Robert Singer and Sarah Gamble.
Supernatural was created by Eric Kripke.
This episode originally aired on December 2nd, 2011.
This episode of Supernatural Then and Now was hosted and executive produced by Richard Speight Jr. and Rob Benedict.
Produced by Stephen Hine, written by Stephen Hine and Haida Holscher.
And edited and associate produced by Trey Booty.
What's up?
Music provided by Tim Wynn.
The episode was recorded with the help of Sonic Fuels Studios.
This podcast is from Story Mill Media.
Follow the podcast on Instagram and YouTube at SPN Then and Now.
Become a member of the podcast to get early access, chat rooms with other podcast fans, and video interviews at patreon.com/SPN Then and Now.
Okay, good rehearsal. Let's record one. And it's, to clarify, because I got a lot of weird feedback last time, it's a Chris Stapleton stapled to a Chris Stapleton. Maureen Stapleton is not involved in this. This is not, she has nothing to do. We're not stapling Maureen Stapleton to Chris Stapleton. He's not stapled to her. God forbid your car dies and you have to take the horse from the stable. You got to go to the stable to go to Staples to get staples for the Stapleton. By the way, just so you know, and I've known you for a long time, you are always very complimentary of my wife, and I always appreciate it. And there's not one time that you have said something about her that's complimentary that didn't come out kind of creepy. It's just impossible.
Sam and Dean no longer distracted by the death of Amy.
Oh, for sake. Steve!
Story Mill Media.
I don't have much time. I am being transported by the Ecclesiad vessel Merkava to stand trial for heresy of the highest order. But I will not renounce my work, and to my last breath I will speak the truth of this plague-ridden world. that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The Heresies of Red Elf Buntwine, Chapter 2, now available throughout the known world.
On our podcast, Good Bad Billionaire, we explain how the world's billionaires made all their money.
Pop stars and tech titans, founders and filmmakers, inventors and investors, we cover them all. And for the first time, we're talking about a video game designer.
Yep, we're talking about Marcus Persson, the Swedish coding king who programmed the world's most successful game, Minecraft, all by himself.
He made $1 billion, but is he good, bad, or just another billionaire? Find out on Good Bad Billionaire. Listen on the BBC app or wherever you get your podcasts.